IVC, there I go, film 33 here to do episode 28 of my Lost in the Collection series. I've got some notes this week, so this week's episode is brought to you by the colour yellow, so albums with yellow in the cover. So yeah, for those of you who haven't watched the videos before, this is where I delve back into the deeper recesses of my collection. 500 records I've got roughly that I haven't probably listened to for about 5 years, so I'm actively seeking them out. I made a few notes, and this is not the first time I've had of shooting this video. I kind of waffled on. I'll try not to waffle on too much, so I'm going to shooting it again. I wasn't happy, so let's get on with it. So first up, in the order that I played them this week, is Morrison Hotel. So I have 5 Doors albums. All of them I think are great albums, and to the point of replaying this, I would have said LA Woman is my favourite album, the Doors debut is my second favourite, and then the other 3 that I've got, Strange Days, Waiting for the Sun and this, were kind of equally good. None of the 3 particularly stood out, but this has now kind of just jumped into 3rd place. Although the others, when I go back to them, I'll probably catch it up again. So yeah, really enjoyed this. You know, Roadhouse Blues and Wait for the Sun are 2 great kind of opening tracks. Sort of quite energetic. Landho opens the second side quite energetically, and I think Queen of the Highway is probably my favourite. This is a really nice 74 UK reissue, or repress from 74, but yeah, in fantastic condition. So yeah, really enjoyable album. I think the Doors managed to stop imploding and arguing for long enough to record a really good album. So next up is another US artist, Astra, and their album The Black Chord. This is their 2nd album. I also have their debut album as well, The Wuthering. This is probably, as the cover suggests, sort of psych prog, heavy doomy sort of psych rock. That they've got lots of mellotron, organ going on, along with obviously guitar, drum, bass, you know, going on as well. But yeah, so this is, I can't remember where this is from actually. I think it's about 2000s, maybe 2010, 2011. They haven't done anything since this. It's on Rise Above Records. I got them both together, and just in playing it, I managed to unstick the booklet that's in the centre, so I'm going to have to fix that. But yeah, really enjoyed this. Sometimes they maybe throw too much into the mix, and sometimes the singer's voice, I much prefer it when he's doing the laid back stuff, and when they're doing laid back instrumental pieces, I really enjoyed that. So kind of Floyd-like is a lazy description. Sometimes I say when they rock out, it gets a little bit they've thrown everything in there, but if you like that sort of thing, you might prefer that side of it. Okay, it's getting a bit dark actually, so it's going to rain. So next up is an album that probably needs no introduction, Neil Young's Harvest. Great album, and great album by Neil Young. I really like Out on the Weekend, the opening track, and Alabama probably are my 2 standout tracks. The rest are all good. Controversially, what I will say is this is Neil Young's 2nd best album with Harvest in the title, so I much prefer Harvest Moon from '92 to this. This is great, but I think that is better. Okay, next up, quite a rare to have on vinyl, is Josh Rouse, so a US artist again, and he sort of Americana, I suppose, is the genre, but this is very much, you know, as the title might suggest, 1972, very much a kind of West Coast Laurel Canyon laid back beautiful album. This is fantastic. It came out in 2003. This vinyl press came out in 2013. I managed to pick this up on vinyl, and they released Nashville, the follow-up to this, which I like equally. I think they're both fantastic albums on vinyl as well. They're quite hard to get hold of now, I think, but yeah, great album. So really enjoyed this and the follow-up. That's probably all I've got one other album on CD, I think, but really I only go back to these two albums. I think they're great, so if you haven't heard them, check them out. And finally is this album, Street Noise by Julie Driscoll, Brian Auger and the Trinity, and probably the name of the band gives a clue to the whole diversity of what's going on. This is a 1982, I think, Japanese press. I'm being quite careful because the obi is a bit ripped. I don't want to rip it completely. So yeah, there's lots going on in this. Covers, originals, instrumentals, vocals mainly by Julie Driscoll, a couple by Brian Auger. One I think which is a bit, Brian don't sing, and the other one actually I really enjoyed, so that's quite strange. But what will I say about this? So I have written some notes. So yeah, so I say lots of style changes, time signature changes. It's jazzy, it's funky, it's a bit psyche folky in places. I think the first side is good, but I think the next three sides are better. And I think the standout tracks for me are Indian Rope Man, Julie Driscoll vocal lead, and Ellis Island, an instrumental that opens up side 3. But there's lots and lots of strong stuff on there, and some stuff that's quite famous appears on side comps. Their version of Light My Fire is on there. Flush Failures, they do a version of that, and I've Got Life probably also then. So what I was going to say is Light My Fire, it's a really good version. It's not my favourite version of Light My Fire, so I think if I was to rank the versions of Light My Fire that I've heard, I would put Shirley Bassey's first, The Doors second, Irma Franklin's third, Johnny Harris, and sort of fourth, equal fourth. Johnny Harris is really essentially Shirley Bassey's without Shirley Bassey on it, and probably Julie Driscoll's equal fourth as well, the version. So, but good version. These are all good versions of Light My Fire. So what else was I going to say? I've now forgotten. I've gone off. Yeah, Julie Driscoll, particularly. So her I've Got Life. I think she's got a tremendous vocal range and good jazz singer and singer of many styles. I think sometimes she throws that range in too much, and so that sometimes I find that a little bit much. So I like it when she's doing laid back singing. Sometimes I think I just struggle a little bit because she feels like she's really over singing, shouting, really belting it out when she maybe doesn't need to, because she's got such a strong voice. So yeah, so that would be my only kind of slight downside, is sometimes I struggle with her voice when she's doing that, but most of the time it's fine. And Brian Auger's fantastic instrumentalist, fantastic keyboard player of all different types of keys, and yeah, really good. So I've got one other of his kind of solo albums which is just instrumental, which is great. So yeah, so we enjoyed that, and enjoyed all of these albums, to be honest. There isn't really a standout there. I enjoyed going back to them all. Some, I've got them all digitally. I've got them all digitally anyway, so it's not like I haven't heard bits of them over the years anyway. But going back to them and actively listening to them was enjoyable. So a good week. Okay, VC, I'll stop waffling. I'm getting up to 10 minutes, and I'll come back with another video soon. Probably be another finds video next week maybe, and then think about what I'm going to do for the next episode. Okay, cheers, bye.